She will do something she regrets. She'll go out and get drunk and sleep with a guy. She regrets it because she knows it's wrong. 10 years later, she will tell the world she was abused, she was tricked. Truthfully, it was her own decision. Females demand to be sovereign, to reject the guidance of their fathers, reject the guidance of their partners, reject the guidance of their uncles and the men who love them and care for them. And they want to do anything they want. Yet when they regret their own actions, it's always some other man's fault. You can't have both. I believe women are intelligent enough to make their own decisions. But to sit and say we reject all guidance, yet we are easily tricked endlessly, it is a logic fail.
It become enough? Like, when does it become like control? Don't nobody want to be controlled. Just because you're a man don't give you the right to tell me what the fuck to do. And I'm telling you from a woman's mouth. I've never seen my father raise his voice. I've never seen my father like belittle my mom. I've never seen my father try to control my mom. My mother was a lot. I just feel like it depends on the man.
So your father had to be the man that tolerated a woman that was frustrated?
This bitch! Typical modern woman who can't separate the difference between control and concern, who can't seem to understand the difference between emotions first decision making that she's fully capable of and willing to operate on as a default, and a man's logic and rational based, reason based decision making. You see, her mother must be an absolute terror for her to admit freely without prompting that she's, quote, a lot. Her father is a simp, obviously, because look at the end result of his parenting in his daughter. Foul-mouthed and useless. His wife, so-called, for her to admit her mother is a lot means her father endures her mother. He doesn't want to be there because he knows what he stands to lose once lawyers and courts get involved. Shout out to our brother from Daily Wrap-Up crew for saying, yeah, you think that's the way it's supposed to go because he's enduring a woman that's problematic? No way. We don't want that.
Wait, it gets worse. So you're saying men, masculine men, they act like that because it's their nature?
I mean, a man is supposed to lead, isn't it? I mean,
that's not leading. Bossing people around?
Yeah, that's what leadership is. Leadership is giving directions. Now, if your man says, hey, I'm hungry, go downstairs and fix me a sandwich. You look at your face. Now, let's reverse it. But
it's something about, like, go make me. So it's almost the same.
Okay, cool.
It's almost the same as, like, I was cleaning my room, and then your parent walks in and is like, clean your room. It's like, damn, I was doing that already.
Right, you working at this. Hey, clean out your register and go to register 6.
That's giving direction. But bossing.
You can't make.
No, but bossing.
You cannot make this. You to tell me that the man that loves you, protects for you, provides for you, upgraded your lifestyle, watch them babies, teach your son how to play football, ask you to go get him something to eat, and you're going to look at him crazy. But that boss that is going to keep you in that hamster wheel of a job because you're going to work 40 hours a week for 40 years and retire broke. But as soon as that needs you to do something, you do it. I don't understand that because a boss can tell a woman to get up out the bed and drive 30 minutes to the goddamn job and go clock them hours because somebody didn't show up. But as soon as Tyrone want a goddamn ham sandwich, so they want to act funny.
I think that says a lot about her character, especially if you say y'all already dating and she come off with some internet stuff about that being in her masculine for buying you something. That means that she's really not feeling you like that. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, guys, Pookie doesn't even have to ask for stuff. She just does it. He might mention it. She'll ask him, do you need anything? This dude can be living with his mama, not have a car, nothing. She'll be trying to do everything to make it with this guy.
As someone who's grown up in a lot of predominantly black neighborhoods, I've been saying to my friends long before I had a YouTube channel that our women, quote unquote, would much rather give us all the grief in the world and do pirouettes and cartwheels and backflips for their white boss. It wasn't even a joke. It was something that men way older than me had noticed. And the thing of it is, guys, and I don't want to make this nothing racial. That's not what we're doing today. But what I am saying is it is insensitive to say to them, apparently, that you are willing to do more for a man who don't give a damn about you. If you couldn't do the job, they'd fire you. If you got too sick to come in, they'd let you go and replace you. But a man who's willing to throw his life down to protect yours, to protect the kids you guys make together, you can't get that man a sandwich. You can't rub his shoulders after a hard day because that's asking too much. That's asking them, you're doing the most right now. Meanwhile, like J.R. Wisdom said, shout out to him. Shout out to Ugly Money Nietzsche for putting that chick on blast with the soundboard. But yeah, for the guy they really want, there's nothing they won't do. They'll come out 2 a.m. on an hour of sleep. Got to be to work at 5 just to get her cheeks clapped on an air mattress I'll tell you that story about a guy I know I used to serve with back in the Navy who had that happen to him. It's crazy. But yeah, man, it's insane how they don't seem to understand that leadership is still leadership if it doesn't have a Caucasian face. This is the hazard that we as black men run into with 98% of ABWs. Now, there's some rays of hope, and I want to give you guys some hope here just for a second for you guys who can't get passports, for you guys who, for whatever reason, can't leave the country because whatever legal challenges you might have, or maybe you just don't have the money. I'm going to show you a couple needles in the haystack. Roll the clip.
Black women tend to only have an issue with authority and rebel against authority when it's a black man. You want to know how I know? Because when you go to that job and your boss tell you to do something, you're going to do it without no problem. You're probably employee of the year when you're at that job. You don't have an issue when it's the white man telling you what to do. But when it's the black man, your black man, the one you chose, the one you laid down with, the one you married and had kids with, you have an issue with him leading and taking charge. See, me, knowing what I know, I understand it's systematic. It goes back to Willie Lynch. So we as black women, we were taught that the black man is incapable of leading. We were taught that we didn't need a man. But it's 2024. I think it's time that we change that mindset. Because I understand that most black men did not have a proper example of a father figure, of a man leading the household growing up. So they're really just trying to find their way, just like the rest of us. But if you have a trying man, give that man some grace.
Try to say, oh, he's controlling me because he doesn't want me to wear XYZ. No, you should respect that man enough not to put him in danger, realistically speaking. Because if you're too sexy and another man steps you, now he's gotta say something. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't say something, now he's not a man. You don't want no high value masculine man because now you're putting him in danger, and that's a problem. Girls are twisted out here. It's delusion. It's giving delusion.
But women just don't want to understand this. I don't know why. But the fact that you think you can do whatever you want to do, and your man is supposed to just be okay with it. And if he's not okay with it, oh, well, he ain't the right man for me. Oh, well, he's trying to control me. Oh, who he think I am. And like she said, it's for our safety as women to not put our husbands, our partners, boyfriends, whoever in tough, dangerous situations. You think you could walk outside with your whole behind hanging out and then got to call your man and say, hey, babe, this guy did this to me. Or I don't know what we just don't want to understand. You can't do whatever you want. You just can't. When you do what you want to do, there's things that come with it. Is women just want to be so defiant and find any excuse to blame somebody else for their bad behaviors. Well, men shouldn't look at us. Well, men shouldn't say anything. Well, this or that. It's like, why don't you just hold yourself accountable to do better?
There you go. As promised, I just gave you 3 black women out of the 22.5 million that live here in the United States. You got 3. Maybe there's 6 more. So flip over enough rocks, search through enough haystacks, search through enough couch cushions, and you may find you one. However, it stands to reason with the pervasive effinism that's like a mind virus all throughout the West, the odds are not in your favor. My advice to you gentlemen is to say this. If you meet a woman and she is not prepared to operate under your program, you do not have to do anything but leave. The only thing you need to do is remove yourself from the situation and remove her from your life entirely. Because for every one of the 3 women I just showed you who are probably an absolute delight to be around and interact with and even build something with, you unfortunately have tens of thousands just like this. Roll the clip.
Deal with what mess exactly? Because I said that a woman should not put her life on the back burner for a boyfriend. She should not cater to a man she's not guaranteed to be with. See, comments like this are proving my point. Y'all want mothers, not girlfriends. And you know you're not going to get it from us. So you go date other races to deal with your weak ass and your bullshit and think you're flexing on us. Baby, you could never pull a bitch like me anyway. So you don't have no choice but to go to the other side. And baby, y'all are not the only ones with options. I could walk outside right now and snag me a Tom, Dick, or a Hank, best believe, and he would cater to every need.
Y'all think y'all flexing by saying shit like this, oh, we date other races. Baby, best believe when we see you with that, we know exactly what it means. You could not handle a queen. And when people see my man with me, they know exactly what it means, baby. I stand for strength, power. He's an alpha. When you see a man with a black woman, know he has big energy, all right? He can handle this mouth and this ass. You're weak. You're a buster.
Rest in peace to the Godfather Kevin Samuels. Gone way too soon in this man's estimation, but he tried to warn us about women like this, creatures like this, about them using sign language, shaming tactics, insults, guilt trips, and the need to be right. He warned us about these types of low quality, low vibrational women. In the midst of all of her word salad, she did touch on some points I want to recap on. She said that because the gentleman that really upset her was a guy who commented on her previous post I didn't put here. He said, it's exactly why we after other races. We as men have options now and don't have to deal with this mess here. The mess he's talking about is the plastic fingernails, crazy glue on top of the ones God gave her. The nylon eyelashes, crazy glue on top of the lashes God gave her. A head full of somebody else's hair, sewn into the hair God gave her. And of course, and last but not least, this satanic behavior and attitude, which is separate from the mission God gave her, to submit to her husband and therefore be under his protection and provision. This chick said out of her mouth on purpose that today's men want mothers, not wives. Meanwhile, half of them have no idea who their father is and never grew up with him or under his protection, under his provision. And the ones who did, in a lot of cases, had a simp for a father. And they have no clue what masculinity actually is. So they embody this saccharine, this neutral sweet, this T-move version of masculinity, which is nothing more than arrogance and obstinance. Who would want to be around this? She mentioned that she could walk outside and get a Tom, a Dick, or a Hank, effectively a white man. Okay, so I'm going to leave it out in the comment section. You guys tell me, to all my white subscribers, which one of you guys want to run down and catch that? Which one of you guys want to run down and grab one of these and have her on your arm and take her around your people, to your office work party, to the country club, out on a yacht that you might own or have access to? To all my white subscribers, I'm going to let you guys hold this. Let me know. How many of you guys want that? For anything more than an hour, of course. For anything more than just a bucket list item to check off, say I tried it once, type of a situation. Because see, that's her future, guys. The truth be told, she's the kind of female who would walk outside of her race thinking she's doing something only to realize there's no chance in hell that a white man of quality would ever put a ring on her finger. Never gonna happen, not in a million fucking years. But you couldn't tell her that. In her mind, she's a prize to be won. In her mind, with her body count probably looking like the price of gas, she would think that men are lining up around the block to wife her up and take care of her for the rest of her life. It's embarrassing, but she's not alone. And that's the real problem here, guys. See, so many of, quote, our women have embraced full-throated, no pun intended, European feminism from 100 years ago. A movement that was never meant for them, that has only hurt them because look at our community as it stands right now. Our community is in shambles. And that was the point. See, guys, I checked my resume this morning. This self-appointed queen, which means her queenship is invalidated and therefore illegitimate because queens are appointed, not self-anointed. But on a side note, I checked my resume this morning and 2 things were not up there. Number 1 was zookeeper and number 2 was circus ringmaster. I will never allow myself, and nor should you, to put myself in a position where I have to, quote, handle a woman. A woman who needs to be handled is a woman in need of being disposed of. That's her future. And one thing about the wall, guys, it has no mercy. It is pervasive and it is inevitable. Her fate is sealed because anything that would deal with this chick longer than an hour at a time, 3 or 4 times a week, will be made miserable. There is no upside to dealing with something like this. There is no usefulness to dealing with a woman like this. Men of sense, men of purpose, men of value avoid these types of women with everything they got. They're not even casuals for men like that because they know having something like this in your life to any degree other than expressly physical will be a detriment to your long-term goals and progress. She understands this. So when men tell her, because she's forgotten that women are the product and men are the customers, when the product or the manufacturer product tells you you're screwed up for not buying their stuff, how do you respond in every other aspect, guys? If Kellogg's started making commercials for Frosted Flakes and Corn Flakes and Fruit Loops and everything about them commercials, 30 seconds, 60 seconds long in those commercials was F men, screw you guys, we don't want you buying our cereal. My guess is you guys will switch to oatmeal bacon and eggs or pancakes, but you wouldn't be eating Kellogg's anymore. That's how Gillette lost so many of their customers. Bud Light too, because they forgot who their audience was. So in this case, when the woman, again, the product, and the paying customer, the men, are being told that they're not, quote, alpha enough to deal with her unnecessary bad behavior, you know what? If you're the product, I'll buy a different one. I'll buy a taco. I'll buy some sushi. I'll buy some potato salad with raisins in it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're dealing with, guys. This is how they see us, unfortunately. And unfortunately, when it comes to ABWs and WBWs, way more often than not, this is what the product is you're being asked to buy, pay for, and support, protect, and provide, knowing it won't shut the fuck up. Sad to see. So to all the ABWs who are women of quality, women of value, and women of virtue, I salute you, I celebrate you, and I hope that you become the norm as opposed to the outliers, because you're outnumbered probably about 65,000 to 1. And it's sad to see. But for the rest of them, for the ones who think like this creature on my screen, this is what I got to say to you. Roll the clip.
Gripes. One of the main complaints is that they want us to lead.
You see, the game is backwards. This is what men think. Not to cut you off. All right, let me cook. We're not supposed to listen to them. They're supposed to listen to us. That's the biggest problem. Women have a genetic advantage in the area of listening. We don't. But because media, society is working overtime to reverse the roles, even the basic forms of communication skills needed to communicate is off and is an imbalance. I here to listen to you. You need to listen to me. And then this is the goddamn problem. Everybody, the black woman don't know when to shut the fuck up. You got an opinion about every goddamn thing and the motherfucker can't tell you nothing. Black men, we've been listening for a long goddamn time. At what point do you say, look, shut the fuck up? Let me say this for the brothers in the back that don't have the nuts to say this. All you black women out there that don't value black men, fuck you. Go get somebody that don't want you because you don't want you. And we got to stop having this, we're going to save everybody. Noah's Ark had to leave at a certain time. It should dock and it had to go.
Like the video? Comment down below. Share with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Net workers, we working. Until next time.